Hi Pisces, let's do a 4-layered spread just to capture as much of the energy around you as we can. I have 2 tarot decks and 2 oracle decks that we will use for this reading. So we're starting with 4 of Swords, the Magician, the World. I'm going to flip that World card over. 6 of Swords, Queen of Cups, the Sun, which I'm also going to flip over, 5 of Pentacles, the Fool, 8 of Swords, Queen of Swords. Under this deck is the Moon. So I'm going to get 6 of these Prism Oracle cards to do the next layer. And we have Confidence, Comfort, Mystery, Love, Sweetness, Disruption. Under this deck, we have Sadness. So then we're going to get 6 of these tarot cards for the next layer. 7 of Swords, Justice, Ace of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, Strength. Under this deck, King of Pentacles, and then we're going to get 2 of these, and then we can get into this for you, Pisces. So there's the handshake and the letter, and under this deck is the Road. So I can already see with the Moon and Sadness underneath the decks here that someone has disturbed your peace. And we're going to really get into this, but that's what I have so far. And it feels almost like you're being forced to go in a direction that you really didn't want to go in. But let's do this one bit at a time. So your current energy is 4 of Swords and Confidence. So I really like this for you because this is telling me that perhaps you're doing some healing. Maybe if there was a person who really disrupted your peace in the past and maybe fragmented your energy, this feels very grounded to me. This feels like you're doing some healing and you're feeling pretty good and solid about yourself right now. That could be why we're seeing this King of Pentacles underneath the deck. This could be you. But again, we're going to really get into this and see. But I like this as your current energy. Then for your future energy, we have the Sun and Love. So this is a really great combination. You're walking straight into something that you love, something very positive, something that you're being drawn towards, it feels like, something that just makes you feel overall happy. It looks like you're following your heart. So perhaps this disruption of your peace was meant to happen. I think so. I think that this is meant to teach you something, but let's keep going. So the Magician and the 7 of Swords, this is what's triggering you, for lack of a better way to put that. It's in your challenge position. So maybe you feel like you just cannot manifest the things that you want. Maybe you feel like you can never catch a break. You are constantly frustrated by that fact that you feel like you feel like nothing positive is ever going to happen. You feel like this current situation is never going to change. But I can see with this 4 of Swords that you really are transforming, and maybe it's just happening slowly, because your future energy is telling me that you definitely are about to encounter a positive change, that you're about to ascend, you're about to evolve, you're about to free yourself with this, but you feel like it's never going to happen because perhaps you've been stuck in this Moon and Sadness energy for so long that you feel like it's your destiny, that that's never going to change. But you see yourself as the 5 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. So this to me tells me that perhaps you could be stuck in a bit of a victim mentality. You feel, again, you feel like this is never going to change. You maybe talk yourself out of doing things because you feel like the long game is not going to work anyway, that you just feel like you're going to lose anyway. That this growth is too slow with the Seven of Pentacles. But there is this part of you, though, too, that does know with the Seven of Pentacles that the growth is slow, but it's there. And we did get confidence in your current energy. So there may be just a tiny part of you that's waking up to the fact that, wait a minute, maybe this is about to get a lot better and I just don't see it yet. You could be moving from that lack mentality, in other words. And especially, I love seeing confidence here because the healing is there and I think you kind of know it too. But just because in the past you weren't getting what you wanted certainly does not dictate what's going to happen in the future. And I feel like you might be starting to catch on to that fact. And I just saw 555 as I said that. So let's look, the energy in your subconsciousness is there's comfort, justice, the world, and the handshake. So it feels to me on a soul level that you have really learned a lot. This feels like a spiritual upgrade. This feels like a spiritual journey. It feels like your ancestors are here. They're comforting you. I think that they just watched you go through whatever that really difficult and trying time was, that whatever this was that was making you stuck and making you feel sad and making you feel like a victim. I do get the sense that your ancestors really comforted you through that and you did the right thing. You're doing the healing, you're getting confident, you're slowly growing. And because of that, I think that was your karmic lesson. That was your karmic contract with the handshake. But this world card is here saying it's time for you to level up, which is exactly why we're seeing the sun and love, because you've done that hard work. You've rolled up your sleeves. You worked through the darkness and the fear of the sun card. You were forced to take a different road than you meant to, but you did that, and now you're getting upgrades. In your environment, we have the Fool, Sweetness, Three of Pentacles, and the Letter. Well, I love this for you because you are about to embark on something brand new. And we saw this here with the Sun and the Love. We saw that. So we do know that whatever battle you were fighting within, whatever that was, or perhaps with another person, but this feels more like inner conflict. When I see sadness and the Four of Swords, and I don't really see even a lot of other people here, I do really get the sense that this was some battle that you were having within, but you've resolved it. Whatever that inner conflict was, whatever that sadness was, whatever that demon was on the inside, let's call it. It feels like you've really worked through that. We have the Three of Pentacles here. Again, I think this is your ancestors, your spirit team are really working with you, communicating with you. You could even be getting some spiritual downloads that make you change the way you talk about yourself. So instead of saying this is never going to change, I don't know why this happened, this always happens to me, I always have bad luck, with my luck, those types of messages that we send to ourselves, I think you're changing the way you talk to yourself now. And it's because you realize right in front of you, there's a brand new beginning with something because you did the hard work. And with the Letter, it's because you listened to your spirit team. So the Six of Swords and the Ace of Cups are in your past energy. So you have already experienced this road card, right? And the swords were right underneath that. So you've already experienced a change of direction. And that's what the Six of Swords is generally about, that you're heading in one direction, but you realize you can't go that way because the water is too choppy in that area. So you have to kind of change your course of direction. Sometimes it's even my card of escape. But this is also about emotional healing. It's escaping those bad situations. It's taking a turn in the road from wherever the conflict was. It was maybe perhaps inner conflict because there is an Ace of Cups. Again, I'm only seeing you in this reading. I'm not seeing other people. And so I do feel like you have come to peace in the past. You've already kind of come to terms and come to peace with the fact that this original direction that you wanted to go in, that you meant to go in, that you were forced to go another way, that was meant to happen for your peace of mind. So what you thought was a disruption of your peace, what you thought was causing you sadness, was actually the thing that was leading you to your peace. So there's an 8 of Swords and Strength here. So this is a little bit of your shadow side coming through here. The 8 of Swords can be about limiting beliefs, and the Strength card can sometimes be about fears, needing courage. It can also be about ego. So again, I feel like you still have a bit of this wounded energy about you, but you're healing because we started with this 4 of Swords. So be careful with the way that you talk to yourself is what the 8 of Swords always tells me. So if you're still thinking, I can never get what I want, nothing good ever happens to me, if you're still thinking like that, these cards are really imploring you to continue doing that healing where you can start talking more positively to yourself and say, no, my future is sunny. My future is full of love. And that's the way that the cards are asking you to start talking to yourself, because it does feel like you're still maybe stuck a bit, even though we see some progress, we see some confidence, we see some growth. I see that you're about to have a spiritual upgrade and about to move into something really great, because that's what the cards are telling me. But there's still that bump, that hiccup in the energy about you at least telling yourself that. Even if you don't believe it, tell yourself, my luck is about to change. Everything's coming my way. The sun and love are right around the corner for me, because that's where they are in this reading. This is your future energy. So in your mindset, you have the Queen of Cups and Mystery. So you are thinking about another person. This is the only other person that showed up in this reading. So this Queen of Cups can really represent anyone. It can represent friends, family, love interests. It really doesn't matter. Generally, the Queen of Cups is an intuitive kind of person, but it doesn't have to be. But you're still thinking that whatever this person did, perhaps this was the person who made you sad. Perhaps this is the person who made you feel fearful about something. You're still seeing them as a mystery because we have the mystery card here. But I think that if you let that go, you let go of why did this person do this to me when you thought they were perhaps your soul connection. Maybe you thought they were supposed to be your partner. Maybe you had a soul contract with this person. We did see the handshake here. But if the more you focus on why did this person do this to me, the harder it's going to be to let the new beginnings come in. So, and this again, this is that same kind of message that the 8 of Swords was giving us, that it's really important what you focus on. So Pisces, it's really important that you try to talk to yourself in a different way, 1, and 2, release the need to know why this person did this to me. The answer to why this person did this to you was so that you could go through your spiritual growth, so that you could get your upgrades, so that you could get the sun and the love, you could get the positivity. That was meant to happen. The thing that you feel disrupted your peace was actually the thing that's going to bring you peace. And we saw that with the 6 of Swords. And then with this potential, I love this for you too, because your potential outcome here is the Queen of Swords and disruption. So now what you once had a disruption in your life, you now become the disruptor. You now have all of that you need. So for example, this energy that your ancestors brought to you and brought you the guidance to move yourself through this. So now you know what to pay attention to. This combination is going to make sure that you never allow someone to do that to you again. That is the upgrade. The disruption, now you are the disruptor, that you are this Queen of Swords. And now you can see clearly when people come into your energy who feel mysterious, you don't know why they did that to you. Now you're going to recognize those red flags going forward so that no one can hurt you in that same way ever again. But it's important that you release this person, understand that that was your karmic debt. You had a karmic debt to pay, you paid it, now you can upgrade, and now whoever comes into your life, you will recognize them right away. The Queen of Swords is my human lie detector. So Pisces, moving forward, whenever anyone new comes into your energy, it's like you are untouchable now. We see that your justice is here, your soul contract is here. You are untouchable now. You learned that lesson and you will never, ever fall into that trap ever again. So there you go, Pisces. That is your reading. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? Consider subscribing to the channel if you like my vibe, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.